What is going on? Hold on. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our. I can't get everything right. Hold on. There we go. Anyway, welcome. I hope everybody is doing well tonight. Welcome back to Southern Gal True Crime. Or if this is your first time here, thank you so much for choosing to hang out with us for a little bit tonight. Learn about some missing persons cases to help bring awareness to cold cases. We feature cold cases mostly on my channel. And tonight is the Tuesday night version of our missing missing person Monday live stream, which obviously we usually do on Mondays. But as a lot of you may know, the college national championship game was on last night. So I figured some people would be watching it. Honestly, I wanted to watch it, and I'm so glad I did. It was such a good game. Congrats to the Indiana Hoosiers. Such a good team. They went undefeated this season, 16-0. The first time since, I think it was, they said 1894 was the last time that a college team had gone undefeated for a season. So, but yeah, they played Miami, the Hurricanes, who also did a good job. But, just Indiana, just, I don't know what else you can say about them. They were just fantastic this season. But anyway, so hence, this is why we are here tonight. But we are here. That is all that counts. I apologize for no camera tonight, but I just honestly, I've been feeling a little bit under the weather. I'm sniffling and sneezing and coughing again. So I may be getting another cold, but that's the nature of it, of this time of year. But as long as you can hear my voice and hear this information, very important information that we're going to be talking about tonight, that is all that counts. So let me see before we get into it. Let me see who is here. Skits checked in. West Side Crime Show says hello, been a long time here. To my fur baby passed, that's why I haven't been on, but I'm glad to be back. I'm so sorry to hear that, Skits. Thoughts, prayers, and good vibes coming your way, honey. It's always hard to lose a fur baby. Absolutely. But we are glad you're here. Please do check out West Side Crime Show. She does wonderful work over there, longtime supporter of my channel. So obviously, absolutely going to support her in any and every way we can. So check her out. Miss Paula is here. Hello, how are you doing, Miss Paula? And congratulations to Miss Paula's New England Patriots. Miss Paula's a Patriots fan. They won. So they're going to the AFC Championship game along with the Broncos. I'm trying to keep all my games straight here. Along with the Broncos. Unfortunately, my Bears got beat. So they won't be going to the NFC Championship game. But hey, it's been a long time since the Chicago Bears have made it that far. So very proud of the Bears, and I have hope for the future. Absolutely. Mustang is here. Good to see you. I hope are you ready for Mustang? Has the madness started up in your part of Arkansas with the mention of the S word, the snow, the sleet, the ice, the whatever it's supposed to do? I know down here, for anybody who doesn't know, Mustang's up in northwest Arkansas. I'm in central Arkansas, but anytime they could say, there's a 1% chance that one snowflake may drop in northern Arkansas, and people in central Arkansas, southern Arkansas will lose their minds. They have to go out to the local Walmart or Dollar General or whatever and buy the milk and the bread and the toilet paper, I guess, for their milk and bread sandwiches and whatever. I don't know. People just lose their mind around here. I think just generally in the South, people just go a little bit nuts whenever you mention any kind of winter precipitation. But anyway, so the madness has begun, unfortunately. But that, we're going to get, well, I mean, they're saying that it's going to be, for the South, it's going to be, pretty significant. So we'll see. Thank goodness, the job I have, I do I'm a Spark driver. I do deliveries for Walmart. I can make my own hours. So, whatever it does here, I won't have to get out in it. I can just stay warm and cozy and safe in the house. But for those of you all over, because it's going to be affecting most of the country, well, except for the West Coast and the plains. But actually, no, the plains may get it. There's like Texas and stuff. But anyway, everybody just be safe in the weather. No matter what, just be safe. Miss Farr is here from Australia. Hello, always good to see you, ma'am. How is y'all's weather? I hope it is good. See who else is here. Thank you, Mustang is getting in links for me. There is Skitz's link. Oh, you're fine. You're not late. You're good. It takes us a minute to get started. But I always like to welcome everybody in. Once again, for anybody new here, I always like to welcome everybody in. I try not to miss anybody. And if I do miss anybody that happens to sneak in while I'm reading something, I apologize. But that's why I always try to keep up with the chat to make sure I don't miss anybody. Chris is here. Welcome, sir. I hope you are feeling well. I hope you're doing good tonight. Excellent. Skit says, much love. Got new laptop, so just waiting for a charger, and I will be up and doing lives again. Excellent. That is good news. There's Miss Peggy. Hello, ma'am. Good to see you. Miss Peggy is on the East Coast, so I'm sure. Are y'all going to get any of that weather, Miss Peggy? Y'all get weather. Y'all get weather all the time. the nasty stuff. It is good to see Miss Peggy always. Oh, thank you, Skit. Sent New Zealand $1.49 super stickers. Thank you so much, honey. It was very much appreciated. So right off the bat, we get to put the cow in the pasture. Always have to go find the cow. Thank you so much, ma'am. That is very much appreciated. and it will go to good use. Anything that's donated and everything I make from the memberships goes right back into the channel. So everything is very much appreciated, mostly to pay for StreamYard, as I always say. Yes, awesome news from us from Westside, from Skits, absolutely. Oh, Miss Farr says it is hot in Australia. Who am I thinking of? I'm getting you mixed up with somebody then. I apologize. Yes, okay, so Miss Peggy is in Colorado. She says it's not bad yet, not much snow, but getting colder. I'm getting you mixed up with somebody. There's somebody from New York. I apologize, Miss Peggy. I would blame it on the medication, but I haven't taken any medication yet, so I can't use that as an excuse. Oh, but yeah, Colorado gets the snow. Gets the snow. All right. All right. I think I'm caught up. I'm trying to think. I'm scatterbrained, even more scatterbrained tonight than I usually am. So I apologize for that. All right. So we will get started. And tonight we're going to be featuring, I think I have 8 cases from Wilmington, Delaware. So for anybody new here, once again, a few months ago, well, maybe it took us about a year. It took us a few months. We went through and featured just missing persons from every state. So we made it through all 50 states. And so now we're going through and kind of the same thing, but we've been narrowing it down a little bit more, featuring missing persons from a specific city in each state. And we are down to trying to go in alphabetical order. So we were down to Delaware. So I chose Wilmington. Once again, I'm having trouble talking. Because there seems to be, I just, from whatever state we're going to do, I just get on the Google machine and, say Delaware, I just put in, what city in Delaware has the most missing persons, like open missing persons cases. And it mentioned Wilmington, and I can't remember the other one. So I went to the Charley Project, which is where I get usually get the basic information, find the cases from that I want to share. And lots of people popped up from Wilmington, but surprisingly, and it actually a good surprise is there was not. I mean, one missing person is too many, obviously, but the list of missing persons in Delaware was relatively small compared to other states. So I know Delaware is a smaller state, but I don't know what the population is, but anyway. So yeah, it was surprisingly small. Like I said, that's a good thing because once again, one missing person is too many. But the unfortunate thing though is that I said we had 8 cases tonight. On most of them, there is not a whole lot of information to be had. Always to supplement the Charley Project information, always try to find online news articles with either interviews with family members, law enforcement that's worked on the case, any updates that may have been in the case. But unfortunately, in a lot of cases, especially cold cases, unless it's just up, like a anniversary year of like 10 years, 15, 20 years that a particular person has been missing, they may bring out a new news article to try to get it back in the spotlight again. But other than that, on cold cases, sometimes you don't find a whole lot of extra information. But as we always say, a little bit of information is better than none. So I know I saw some people pop in. Let me get back down to before we go further. Thank you, Miss Peggy. I still can't. There's a lady, I believe she's from New York, because I always talk about her New York accent, or the New York accent. I've never heard her talk, but anyway. Once again, Miss Avery is here. Good to see you, ma'am. Oh, so everybody's losing fur babies. Far says my boo dog comes back tomorrow. She may be ashes, but can't wait till she is back. Absolutely. Thoughts, prayers, and good vibes coming your way too, Miss Far. Make sure nobody else snuck in. Let's see. Yep, Avery says losing a fur baby is awful. Absolutely. Yep. Skit says hers was her best friend. Absolutely. I mean, people don't give, in my opinion, people don't give enough credit to animals. I mean, especially pets, whether it be, doesn't necessarily even have to be, cats or dogs. Any kind of animal, pet is just, that means so much to you, and they do become family. They are family. They become your best, friends. Some people say, how can an animal be a friend? Well, they can be. Most, animals are sentient beings. They have, feelings and emotions and different character, different character types, personality. That's the word I'm looking for. Different personality types. So yeah, they definitely do get attached to humans. Absolutely. Let's see. Thank you. This is the link to the Stolen Spirits MMIWG. Miss Brady, Miss Nicole, that whole group over there, they feature missing and murdered Indigenous persons. They are on YouTube. They're on Facebook. Also, both under Stolen Spirits MMIWG. Please do check them out. Indigenous persons are very undercovered. If that's not the word I'm looking for once again. More awareness needs to be brought to Indigenous cases. They're very undercovered, as in nobody, I'm gonna say nobody. Not a whole lot of people cover Indigenous cases. We all know what type of cases get featured. I won't go in. All cases are important, but we all know some of them don't get as covered as much as they should be, as others do. So we do appreciate everything that Stolen Spirits does. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, Miss Farr says they don't. Pets are family. My friend has a chook, which is a chicken, as a friend. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, there's Dave. Hello, Dave. He is probably listening and driving. Dave, out on the prowl. Please do check out Dave. Dave, me and Dave, or a lot of us and Dave, go back a long way, back to the Mr. Steve days. Well, Mr. Steve days, the True Crime Web days, with Mr. Steve. That's how a lot of us got to know each other, is in Mr. Steve's chat on True Crime Web. And Dave started his own channel a while back, long time ago. And he does good work. He does one live stream a week, late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, depending on how you want to look at it. Dave is an awesome guy. He does awesome work. He has an awesome channel. Please do check him out. It's always good to see Dave. And I actually made it, I think, to his last two live streams. I was actually there when he was actually live, and I didn't have to be replay crew. So we love Dave. We love our Dave. Yep. He absolutely is listening and driving. Be careful out there, Dave. I know Dave I can't talk. Good Lord, y'all. Lives on the East Coast, so I'm sure his weather is not too good right now either. So Dave, you be safe while you are out there driving around. Dave said it is good to see everyone. Yes, definitely stay safe. No, you are awesome, my friend. You are awesome. All right, we are caught up, so I will quit blabbing and we will get to the topic at hand. So once again, missing in Wilmington, Delaware, and I have 8 cases. Once again, I know that sounds like a lot. Once again, not a whole lot of information in most of these, so we can probably cover these fairly quickly, which to my live streams can go anywhere from 2 hours to 3 hours. We try to keep it to it for Missing Person Mondays to at least 2.5, 3 hours, or under if we can. But hey, this information is important. So we like to, and we encourage this on this channel. We encourage good, healthy, respectful discussion. So I never want anybody to feel like they can't leave a comment or ask questions or give their thoughts and opinions about a case. Once again, I go through chat and try to get to everybody's questions, comments, whatever they may have to say, thoughts. So hence the long live streams. But once again, very important information. All we ask is that, this is a drama-free channel. Be respectful of victims, families, and each other. Absolutely. All right, so we will get into our first one. So first we have John J. Ashley Jr. Let me get my switch tabs here. So John has been missing since December 14th, 1971 from Wilmington. He was just 18 years old when he went missing. He'll be 72 years old as of 2026. Just amazes me. It just always blows my mind. Not in a good way. I mean, just how, it really brings in to reference how old some of these cases are, or how long some of these people have been missing. So when he went missing, John was 5'4" tall and 130 pounds with black hair and brown eyes. Excuse me. His nickname is Jay. It says that he does have a congenital defect to his right hip, and one of his metatarsal or foot bones has been previously fractured. There's no known clothing that he was last seen wearing. And once again, this is one that doesn't have a whole lot of information. But John was last seen walking home from his from his school basketball practice in Wilmington on December 14th, 1971. He has never been seen or heard from again. So, and I got just a little bit of other information that I did find that will go into this a little bit more. But a 17-year-old boy also disappeared from Wilmington that same night, and he was found drowned in February of 1972. Has not been proven that the cases are related. And I think if I read this other bit of information correctly, that John and this other boy that disappeared on the same night and was found drowned, I think they don't know if they were friends, but they were either friends, acquaintances, knew of each other, went to the same school, something of that nature. But like I said, we'll get into that more here in a minute. So an unidentified man whose skeletal remains were found in a vacant lot in Wilmington in April of 1978. When they were first found, they were thought that they could have it could be John. These remains of this man also had a pelvic deformity like John, but DNA testing proved that they were not the same person. It was not John. John's remains missing, and few details are available in his case. Once again, I forgot to put up my creeper at the bottom with the trigger warnings and all that stuff. All right, there we go. So if you have any information regarding John's case, you can contact the Wilmington PD at 302-576-3670. And let me find this other article. This is from a website, or it's kind of like a blog. It's called Whereabouts Still Unknown. And I do use it. Sometimes you can find some little tidbits of information that you might not find anywhere else if there are not any other online articles available. So this was posted in July of 2018. And it says John J. Ashley, age 18, was last seen in Wilmington on December 14th, 1971. He was last seen by his mother in the early morning hours at their residence at 427 East 35th Street as he left for school. He was carrying around $45 that his grandmother had given him to buy Christmas presents. He never returned home. A check of attendance records confirmed that John did attend school that day, and it was learned that he walked his girlfriend, whose name was Valerie, home to the east side of Wilmington after school. So some friends claimed to have seen him between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. that night at the King Street YMCA. There was which held what they call coffee shop socials for teens on Tuesday and Thursday nights. He reportedly left the YMCA with several members of what they call a youth group. Some people refer to it as a gang, but just, a group of teens, a group of friends. They called themselves the Stallions. Jay was a member of this youth group. The group walked to a pool room on Carlette Street, which was between Spruce and Church Streets. After a while, the boys left. They walked to the north part of town where they lived. They eventually split up as each went in a different direction to go to their own homes. And John was last seen by classmate and fellow Stallion member by the name of Calvin Berry at around 22nd and Locust Streets, which is about 12 blocks from John's home. So on the same night is when 17-year-old Leroy Ricky Morgan also vanished while presumably walking home in the same general area as John. Although John and Ricky were friends, and both were members of this youth group, the Stallions, it is not believed that they were together on the night in question. So my question is, did their disappearances, even though they weren't together the night that they both disappeared, could it have something to do that they were friends? Could it have something to do that they were both members of this youth group, the Stallions? Could it have just been a coincidence? We all know how we feel about coincidences. So I don't know. And I do not know. I don't think it says in this article. We'll get to it because Leroy was the one that was found drowned. I don't know if they could determine if it was accidental or if it was something nefarious may have happened, if it was foul play. So Ricky or Leroy was also confirmed to have attended school that day. It is not known what he was doing in the afternoon immediately after school, but his mother stated that Ricky and his girlfriend were at the Morgan home, at Leroy's home, in the evening, and he vanished after walking his girlfriend home to 26th and Tottenhall Streets at around 10:45 p.m. So this would have been around the same time that John disappeared, same time frame. And Leroy's girlfriend was the last person to see Leroy alive. So going back to John's mother did not immediately panic, but she did contact police in early January when John did not show up at his father's funeral. Police assumed that he and Leroy or Ricky Morgan had left together of their own volition. In other words, they ran away. Although, they were, John was 18, so he was technically an adult. Leroy was 17. We all know once again what they say, what do they always say? They ran away. They're runaways, even back in the, 1970s. So, lost my place. Hold on. So, John's mother contacted the police in early January when John did not show up to his father's funeral. Once again, police assumed that he and Ricky had left together of their own accord. They did little to search for them. It says there, according to this, whoever wrote this article or blog, Says their theory was bolstered when a witness came forward claiming to have seen both boys on January 3rd. The witness, who claimed to be a friend of Ricky, stated that he saw them walking near 11th and Kirkwood Streets. And he said that when he stopped and called out to Ricky, both of them took off running in the opposite direction. Now, once again, we don't have any further context as to what that, why they would, if he called out to them, called one or both of their names or whatever he said, why they would take off running. Did they think something was going to happen? A fight was going to go down, or some kind of confrontation or altercation? We don't know. So Ricky's mother claims to have received a phone call in which she heard what she describes as a breathless voice utter, "Mom, it's Ricky." Then she said that she heard sounds consistent with someone wrestling the phone out of Ricky's hand, and slamming down the receiver. So Calvin Berry, who is said to have been the last person to see John, at one point stated that he had seen John being pulled into a car on the day of his disappearance, or the night. He later, for some reason, went back and recanted or denied that he saw this. The remains of Leroy Ricky Morgan were discovered in February of 1972. The COD was ruled a drowning, though it has not been specified as accidental or intentional. So, both families described their sons as typical teenage boys, saying that neither was a model student, but that they had never been in any serious trouble, nor had they ever stayed out without permission before. So it sounds like they were just normal teenage boys. Once again, John J. Ashley remains missing. It is not known whether his disappearance, once again, is connected to the disappearance and death of Ricky or Leroy. So just a little bit of extra information there. But I don't know. Once again, it could just be, and this is just my opinion, it could just be coincidence. But to me, them both going missing, even though they weren't together that night, both going missing on the same night, around the same time frame. They knew each other. They were both in this youth group, the Stallions. I mean, to me, that's just too much of a coincidence. But obviously, let me know in chat what you think, or if you're watching a replay, please leave a comment below. Before I forget, we love Replay Crew. Please leave a comment below to let me know if you are a Replay Crew. But yeah, so I don't know. I think, in my opinion, like I said, it's too much of a coincidence that they went missing on the same night, same time frame. Unfortunately, Ricky is found deceased. Once again, we don't know. It was ruled a drowning, but they don't know or haven't released publicly if they think it was, or if they could determine if it was accidental or intentional, a homicide. So I don't know. It's just, to me, I don't think it's a coincidence. But once again, that is just my opinion. Let me get caught up on your comments and your questions, thoughts, and please, once again, in chat, if you're here live, don't ever hesitate to ask questions, give your thoughts, opinions on any of these cases that we're talking about. Just once again, we're always respectful of victims, families, and each other's. We welcome all opinions. We just ask that everybody play nice and be respectful of each other's opinions. We don't have to agree. We can agree to disagree on things, but we can do that respectfully and have nice, productive conversations, which we don't have. We don't have a lot of trouble in this community. We've got some excellent, outstanding people in this community. Sorry, I had to get a drink. My Sonic cup is squeaky. All right. Hey, Miss Z, Trial Junkies United is here. Please do check out Z and Miss Z and Dog and Moo the cat over at Trial Junkies United. Z and Doc are justice warriors. They feature a lot of injustices in true crime. Do such a wonderful, excellent, outstanding job. They do a live stream every Thursday and Sunday night at 8 p.m. Central. I try to be there live most of the time, as often as I can. If something comes up and I can't be there in chat and listening while it's live, I'm always replay crew. So please do check them out. We are always glad to see Ms. Z here. What? Okay, Avery says, I wanted to tell y'all the docuseries on my book Evil came out today on Paramount Plus called Handsome Devil. Ooh, I have Paramount Plus. I can watch it. Well, congratulations, Miss Avery. That is outstanding. So everybody, if you have Paramount Plus, check out Handsome Devil. So the docuseries is based on your book. I'm reading that correctly, right? That is outstanding. Excellent. We'll definitely check that out. Ms. Z says 2 members of the same group both disappear, on the same night, even though technically they said that they weren't together that night. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're members of the same group, the Stallions, this youth group. Some people called it a gang. I mean, doesn't matter, whatever you want to call it, a group. Go missing. One turns up deceased. One has not been found. John has not been found. Yeah, to me, that's not a coincidence, in my opinion. Yep, Miss Paula says suspicious. I agree. Yeah, Miss Peggy says, talking to Miss Avery. Very nice. I'm gonna have to if I get when I'm snowed in for Snowmageddon here in Arkansas this weekend, I'll have some free time on my hands. I will definitely check that out. Ms. Z says if they are in a gang, it could be another gang trying to get rid of them. See, that's what I thought. I mean, back in the 70s, I wasn't born till 71, so I mean, they did have what they called gangs, a lot different from what depending on what age you are, what generation you are, what was considered a gang when you were growing up or whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. But, that's what I thought too. Were there any other of these youth groups or gangs or whatever you want to call them in Wilmington at that time frame? I mean, I'm assuming there was, but once again, I don't know. But yeah, that's what I thought. Also, Ms. Farr agrees. Well, I'm glad Miss Z says that she's so happy to be here. Well, we are always glad when you are here. Please say hello to Doc and to Moo for us. Oh, you are very welcome, Miss Avery. And she says, yes, it is her book on Wade Wilson. Oh my gosh, that man, not a man, that whatever. Ooh, that he's something. He is something. Congratulations, Miss Avery. Once again, we'll definitely watch it. Hey, Boston Christian, always good to see you, my friend. Welcome. Ms. Z says some gangs will come into a gang by deleting other gang members. Yeah, kind of like a initiation kind of thing. You know how you got to do this before you can be a member of our group or gang or whatever. Absolutely. Whenever I think of and I know that this was earlier than the 1970s. What is that play? Is it West Side Story that has the 2 rival gangs? I may be totally off, but that's what I think. I know that was a lot earlier than the 70s, but that was probably was that set in the 40s, 50s, somewhere around there. Anyway, I don't know. My thing with gangs, I mean, Grease. You got Grease. You had the T-Birds, and the the Pink Ladies. Anyway, all right, I'm getting off track. Focus. Okay, but I agree. Yeah, getting back to seriousness. Yeah, I agree. Something is afoot at the Circle K. There's something hinky. I don't believe it's a coincidence, in my opinion. Entirely possible, like Ms. Z says, that there is another gang or youth group or whatever that either had some kind of beef with each other, or it was some kind of initiation, like Ms. Z said. They had to go unalive or delete another member of another gang to get into whatever gang they were trying to get into. I absolutely think that is possible. Thank you, Mustang. There is the link to Trial Junkies United. Please, once again, go over there, like, subscribe, share, comment, watch. Absolutely. All right. I'm caught up. So next we have Michael Cahoon. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that last name right. I apologize if I'm not. It could be Cahoon. I don't know. Once again, sorry for the squeaky cup lid. Oh, I guess I need to. It would help if I got the right information up. Goodness gracious. Okay. So Michael has been missing since October 3rd, 2023. So this is fairly recent, almost 2 years. No, almost 3 years now. I keep forgetting we're in 2026 now. From Wilmington. He's a white male. He was 40 years old when he went missing. He would be 42 years old as of 2026. When he went missing, he was 5'6" tall, 130 pounds, with brown eyes, and he was bald at the time that he went missing. I don't know. I'm assuming he shaved his head. I don't know. He just may have gone bald prematurely. Who knows? But about the only information we have is that he was last seen in Wilmington on October 3rd, 2023. He has never been seen or heard from again. A few details are available in this case. I mean, it doesn't even say where he was last seen. Was it home? Was it work? Was it out walking around at the store? Usually we at least have a little bit. He's last seen at, or they were last seen at their home or at work or at school. But unfortunately for Michael, he just says he was last seen on October 3rd, 2023. In Wilmington. But what I find interesting is these Missouri police are investigating. So I don't know if he was, because I was not, I don't think I was able to find any additional, no additional information. I don't think I couldn't find a NamUs page. I couldn't find anything on Doe Network. So I don't know if he was from Missouri and had traveled to Wilmington. I mean, I don't know why the Missouri police, if he went missing from Delaware, why the Missouri police will be investigating. I don't know. But it says if you have any information, call the St. Louis, Missouri, Lambert International Airport Police Department. So that's another layer. Why would you call the International Airport Police? At 314-890-1370. So that's the only reason, is maybe he had traveled from Missouri to Wilmington. And maybe he got off the plane in Wilmington and was never seen again. I don't know. It's just so frustrating not to have any context even to where he was last seen. But I'm just going to assume, or no, I'm not going to assume. I'm just going to say it's a possibility maybe that he had flown from Missouri to Wilmington, got off the plane, and just was never seen after he got off the plane. Anyway, so that is all the information we have on Michael. Once again, something, a little bit's better than nothing. At least his name, his face is out there, his description. Once again, the case is not quite 3 years old, so relatively, I mean, one day is too many to be missing. But I mean, considering we cover mostly cold cases, it's just not quite 3 years, or just over 2 years, I should say, rather. So hopefully we can find that or help get the information out to help find this man. All right. Okay. So next, we have William Perez Sr. Let me get his information. And I think the Charley Project was the only information I found. So this one, well, I'll give you the information, then I'll explain to you why I included this case. So William Perez Sr. has been missing or went missing on October 2nd, 1990 from Wilmington. He is a Hispanic male. He was 27 years old. When he went missing, he'll be 62 years old as of 2026. At the time he went missing, he was 5'8" to 5'9" tall and 155 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. His nickname is Willie. He has a 1.5-inch white scar above his right eye in the eyebrow. And it says he has a previous bone fracture. It doesn't say where in the body, just a previous bone fracture from a car accident. He was last seen wearing or clothing jewelry description, 3 gold necklaces and a plain gold wedding band. It said he did have a history of substance abuse. So William was last seen in Wilmington on October 2nd, 1990. He spoke to his wife of 9 years, excuse me, on the phone at around 2:30 p.m. and said that he would meet her in about an hour to take her shopping. So from the background noise during the call, she believes that he was at a bar, possibly the Scorecard Bar and Grill in the 500 block of Maryland Avenue. Apparently he was a regular there. So William had made prior arrangements to meet a friend, apparently at this bar. The friend arrived at around 2:45 p.m. and he was gone. William was gone, but his brand new blue and silver 1990 Astro van was parked crookedly on Bird Street, which they said was just around the corner from the bar. They said the windows were rolled down. William has never been seen or heard from again, and his wife reported him missing on October 6th. So about 4 days after he was last seen, she reported him missing. So after a local newspaper ran an article about William's disappearance in November of 1990, a woman thought that she recognized his picture. She said that she had seen a man resembling Perez driving an old beat-up pickup truck down State Route 896. This sighting has never been confirmed. William's wife stated that he had dropped out of sight before, but never for longer than just a few days. So James Christopher D'Angelo was convicted of William's homicide in 1999. So he allegedly GSW'd him after William came to his house to collect on a debt. D'Angelo's wife and a friend helped him dispose of William's body and clean up the crime scene. D'Angelo had been charged with first-degree homicide, but he was convicted of a lesser count of second-degree homicide and possession of a deadly weapon, and he was sentenced to 30 years in prison. And so that smaller picture on the slide is James Christopher D'Angelo. So he was the one that was convicted, charged with first degree, convicted of second degree homicide. So William had lived in the Wilmington area for most of his life before his disappearance. He had attended Catholic schools within the city. He lived in the Melody Meadows area near Glasgow, Delaware, with his wife and 2 children. His wife describes him as very friendly, a generous person. He would lend money to people in need. So even though there was a conviction in his case, so I'm assuming from this confession or his girlfriend. Hold on, let me go back. D'Angelo's girlfriend, I think, is the one that said, well, now I can't find it. No, his wife. Well, I don't know if she said it, but it says that D'Angelo's wife and friend helped him to dispose of of William and clean up the crime scene. So even though basically we know allegedly, if they're telling the truth, what happened, William's body has never been found. His family still needs answers, some type of closure. Once more, closure is a blanket statement. There are, can you really have closure? There can be different forms of closure. So police believe it was that William's body was first buried in a shallow grave in the marshes near Interstate 95, and then that it was later dug up. Once again, trigger warning. And that it was later dug up, dismembered, and dumped into the Christina River. So, I mean, if that's the case, in my opinion, highly unlikely that. I mean, who knows? They could find some form of remains. I'm trying not to be too graphic, but I mean, just a sad situation all the way around. So that's why, even though, like I said, somebody was convicted in the disappearance and homicide, we still like to include cases like this, because once again, remains have never been found. So if you do have any information, call the Wilmington Police Department. And it did not have the number, but I know it's on the other slides. It's probably the same as in, let me go back to, I'll have to go back to the other, Wilmington PD 302-576-3670. So just a sad, and I don't know if maybe, I think, let me see, just check one more time that I didn't have any other additional information. So it said that William, which is neither here nor there, he had, why I cannot find anything I'm looking for tonight. He had had dealings or convictions. Anyway, he had dealings with substances. So I don't know if maybe that had anything to do with why this Christopher D'Angelo would want to take him out. I don't know. It says he allegedly GSW'd him after William came to his house to collect on a debt. So it could have been possibly had something to do with dealing. Who knows? I don't know. Possible. That would just be the first thing that I would think about. But like I said, at any rate, his family say left behind 2 children, his wife and 2 children. He was described as very friendly, generous. He would lend money to people in need. So it's just important to keep these cases in the spotlight also. All right, let me see who has snuck in. I know I saw somebody. Patriotism. Good to see you. Welcome, my friend. Always good to see patriotism here. Yeah. Patriotism said Avery missed you. Yes, Miss Avery is back. Did I say hello? Yeah, okay. I couldn't remember if I said hello to Boston. I think I did. All right, give me 1 2 seconds. Okay, sorry. I had to blow my nose. I had to turn my mic off. Oh, my nose is just dripping, dripping, dripping. It's about to drive me crazy. All right. All right. So next we have Carmella Potts, and this information, let me get it up, is actually from the disappearblog.com, because I was just looking for some more cases to fill out the one to go with the ones that I had. So I just went to, I like to use disappearblog.com a lot, and all the links to all the online articles that I use are in the description box as always. So please feel free to read them at your leisure, share them, absolutely, to help bring more awareness to these cases. But this is Miss Carmella Potts. She is 60 years old, or was 60 years old when she was last seen on January 26, 2024 in Wilmington. She is still missing. She was last seen leaving her residence on Conrad Street at around 8:30 p.m. She left home. She had left to visit a friend. She never returned home. All attempts to locate her have been unsuccessful. Her loved ones are concerned for her safety and well-being. She is known to frequent the Lancaster Avenue corridor in Wilmington. She is a black female. She has black hair and brown eyes. She's 6'1" tall, or at the time she went missing, 6'1" tall, and weighs about 170 pounds. She was last seen wearing a long black and white checkered coat and a black knit hat. So once again, that is about all the information we have, but we will go with it. So if you have any information regarding the disappearance of Carmella, contact the Wilmington PD once again at 302-654-5151. All right. So next we have Glenn Joseph Dolden. Once again, I apologize if I'm not pronouncing that name correctly. Give me 1 minute. Let me get his information up. So a lot of these are in December. I think have all of these that we've done so far. Well, it's either October or December that they went missing. So Glenn has been missing since December 11th, 2010 from Wilmington. He is a white male, 53 years old. I'm assuming at the time that he went missing. At the time he went missing, he was 5'6" to 5'7" tall, 170 to 190 pounds, with graying dark brown hair and brown eyes. It says that he has slight sideburns and a gray and brown mustache, and was balding. He has a skin tag on his right upper eyelid. He has pock marks on his right cheek. He has a 2-inch by 1-inch rectangular scar on his wrist from a wart removal. And he has a scar on his abdomen from gallbladder surgery, which he had in 2002. And it says he does wear cheap eyeglasses. I call them cheater eyeglasses for reading. So the last known clothing that he was wearing was his security agency uniform, which consisted of a black shirt, black pants with a black side stripe, a black jacket with the words Wackenhut GS4 on the back, black sneakers, and a blue badge. And I was going to put the badge on the slide, and I forgot to once again. So his vehicle's accounted for. So Glenn was last seen in Wilmington on December 11th, 2010. He has never, once again, this is another one, very little information. He has never been heard from again. But after his disappearance, well, actually, okay, so after his disappearance, his red 1998 Dodge Neon was found abandoned on the Delaware Memorial Bridge. So I'm going to assume that they think maybe that maybe he took his own life. Maybe not. I mean, but I think, once again, I don't know where. That would just be what I would, a possibility, a possibility. It could have been a possibility that he took his own life, or it could be that something nefarious happened and they just, if something nefarious happened, then somebody wanted to make it look like he took his own life, Um, but I wanted to say I read, but I don't have any other articles that was the assumption by law enforcement, was that he jumped off the bridge basically and took his own life. But if you do have any information, call the Delaware River and Bridge Authority Police at 302-571-6398. All right. So next we have Donald Eugene Harrigan. I'm gonna have to get me some, talking about cheater eyeglasses, I'm gonna have to get me some stronger ones. I can't read anything anymore. So Donald has been missing since February 1st, 2005 from Wilmington. He is a black male. He was 49 years old at the time he went missing. He'll be 70 years old as of 2026. At the time he went missing, he was 5'7" to 5'8" tall and 140 to 175 pounds with black hair and brown eyes. His nicknames are Don, Gene, Gino, and Tad. He has a 1-inch linear scar at the corner of his eye. He has a healed fracture to his collarbone. It says that his left ear was pierced at one time, but they say the piercing had probably closed up before his disappearance because he hadn't worn an earring in years. And it says that his fingers are slightly larger and more curved than normal. So I don't know if that's just genetics or some kind of medical condition or something of that nature. So Mr. Harrigan was last seen in Wilmington. His family reported him. So he was last seen, it said, sometime in February of 2005. So they don't have an exact date, although it says February 1st. So maybe they just went with, So his family reported him missing on April 23rd of 2005 after more than 2 months passed without them hearing from him. It says, although Mr. Harrigan had previously dropped out of sight for a few days at a time, he had never been gone this long before. He had previously spent time in Jacksonville, Florida and Lakeland, Florida, but police could find no evidence that he had traveled there after after his disappearance. His case does remain unsolved. So once again, if you have any information, contact the Wilmington PD at 302-576-3670. So I don't know. It doesn't say, I don't want to make any assumptions ever, but it doesn't say if he was unhoused, if he led any kind of transient lifestyle or anything like that. But I mean, it was 2 months passed before his family reported him missing. So maybe, but they said it was normal for him to be gone for a few days, but not for this long. So, I mean, 2 months. So like I said, that I don't know if, like I said, what kind of lifestyle he led. That's neither here nor there. He is missing. His family is looking for him. So that is why we do this. All right. Let me check your comments right quick. Well, I forgot where I thought I marked it. Maybe not. I tell you, it was StreamYard change it. Every time I get on here, StreamYard changes something up. Okay. Oh, so this is a hard one. This is a sad one. They're all sad, obviously, but when you have a literally a baby, 3 months old, and when you hear the information, you can kind of form your own opinion, obviously, but you kind of get an idea of what a possibility of what could have happened. It's so hard. Let me get his information. So this is little baby Shawn White. His was last seen on December 8th, 2002 in Wilmington. He was just 1 month old when he went missing. He'll be 23 years old as of 2026. And the smaller picture there in the top right corner of the bigger picture of him when he was a baby is an age progression to age 18. So he was, when he was last seen, he was wearing green and white pajamas and a gray Mickey Mouse snowsuit. So he had thick eyebrows, long eyelashes. I can't even hardly look at that little face. And it says that some agencies spell his name Shawn, S-E-A-N instead of S-H-A-W-N. So little Shawn was last seen on December 8th, 2002 in Wilmington. He had been on a weekend visitation with his father, Thurman R. White, sometimes referred to as Truman, Truman, instead of Thurman. And that smaller picture, the other smaller picture that is above Shawn's vitals is Thurman, his father. So on December 9th, Thurman went to the apartment of baby Shawn's mother, Tanya Graham, in the 900 block of Vandiver Avenue. So he had the baby on the weekend visitation. On December 9th, he went to baby Shawn's mother's home, but he did not have baby Shawn with him. So he told Tanya, baby Shawn's mother, that a woman would come by later and bring Shawn to her. Now, I don't know if he elaborated. I mean, once again, form your own opinions, but so he said, hey, this, I don't even know if he gave Tanya a name or just said, hey, a woman will come by later and bring Shawn home. So after 2 hours, when this mysterious woman still had not brought Shawn home, Thurman and Tanya argued about it, and trigger warning, and he ended up stabbing her 3 times in the neck. Tanya's 5 other children were also at the residence at the time of this attack. Tanya had to be hospitalized for her wounds. Thankfully, she did survive. She was released from the hospital 2 days later. So after this incident, this crime, Thurman fled the apartment before the police arrived, driving his 1989 Chevy GM4 pickup. He turned himself into police to face charges the next day. At least he turned himself in. I'll give him that. He still did not have baby Shawn with him. He refused to say where Shawn was. Thurman has at least 2 other children, one who did live with Tanya and one who lived with him at his home in the 200 block of 29th Street. So police originally charged Thurman with 2nd-degree assault for his attack on Tanya, but they later upgraded that charge to 1st-degree attempted homicide. He does have a criminal history for offenses including trespass, making terroristic threats, and assault. So Thurman did plead guilty to assault, possession of a deadly weapon during a felony, and endangering the welfare of a child. He was sentenced to 12 years in prison and 7 years of probation after his release. Police suspect foul play is involved in baby Shawn's disappearance. They have searched Thurman's home, his boat, and a landfill for little Shawn's remains, but they have turned up no evidence thus far as of 2026. Thurman, the father, continues to refuse to tell or to say anything about what happened to Shawn. He claims that Tanya, the mother, knows where Shawn is, but she's like, no, you had him. You were supposed to bring him back. You told me that this mysterious woman was going to come by later and bring him, and she never showed up. And then you attacked me. So, yeah. So obviously Shawn's case remains unsolved. So once again, if you have any information, call the Wilmington PD at 302-571-4525. So once again, always encourage everybody in any case to, listen to the information if you're listening to a podcast or whatever, or, or researching, form your own opinions. I have my opinions on possibilities of what happened. I'm hoping I'm wrong. Hopefully little Shawn is alive and out there somewhere. He would be 23 years old, as we're recording this, or as of this live stream. We can hope that he's out there alive and well somewhere. And being only a month old when he disappeared, he may not even know who he is and that he's missing, and that, possibly somebody took him or somebody gave him to somebody else and he just doesn't know who he is. So that is why we feature these cases. But once again, as always, let me know in chat what you guys think. Or once again, if you're watching Replay Crew, leave a comment below. Just such a sad case, as they all are. Check your comments again. Mustang says, "Where's Al? I don't see him." He checked in earlier, Mustang. He's listening and driving, as always. He's working. He works nights, overnights, doing his Al business, whatever it is he does. I still don't know what he does. But anyway, so he's listening and driving. So he checked in earlier, just right after, not too long after we got started. But thank you so much. There is the link to Dave's channel, Al on the Prowl. Please do check him out once again. And let me make sure I didn't have anything else on little baby Shawn. He is listed on the baby Shawn is listed on the Doe Network. It says dental identifiers, dentals not available, fingerprints unknown, DNA unknown. Once again, it gives his clothing, what he was last known to be wearing, or maybe I'm assuming that's. I'm gonna assume that the father was the last one to see him, or this mysterious woman that was supposed to bring him back to Tanya, to his mother. Green and white pajamas and a gray Mickey Mouse snowsuit. So he does have a NamUs case number is 8283 and NCMEC is 951543. But I swear when I search, because I like to include, because I did include the Doe Network link, but I like to always, if I find the NamUs or NCMEC, I always like to put that in the description too. And I swear I searched NamUs and NCMEC and I did not find it. But at any rate, such a sad case. All right, so that's baby Shawn. So next we have Damond Reginald Emery. Hold on one second. Okay. You are very welcome, Mustang. Mustang says, thanks, Southern Gal, for having a safe chat. Absolutely. Absolutely. Once again, this is a no drama channel. Everybody is always or is respectful, or they're gone. Basically, if you're not respectful, you get dealt with accordingly. All right, so we have Damond Reginald Emery. Once again, there's his information. I don't think there's a lot of information on this one. So Damond has been missing since February 27th, 1996 from Wilmington. He is a black male. He was just 22 years old when he was last seen. He'll be 52 years old as of 2026. At the time he went missing, he was 5'7" to 5'8" tall and 160 pounds with black hair and brown eyes. It says that he may easy for me to say. He may spell his name Damon, like Damon, instead of Damond with a D on the end. And it says he may have a 7-inch scar on his abdomen. I don't know why they're uncertain about that, but he may have a 7-inch scar on his abdomen. So his last known clothing description: a gray Nautica sweatsuit, a black leather jacket, Nike sneakers, and a ring on his left pinky finger. So Damon was last seen when a friend dropped him off in front of his home in the 400 block of East 10th Street in Wilmington. This was between 2 and 4 a.m. on February 27th, 1996. After that, he has never been seen or heard from again. Damond did keep in regular contact with his mother, his girlfriend, who was pregnant at the time, and the mother of his young son. And they say it is uncharacteristic of him to leave without telling anyone or making arrangements for the care of his pet dogs. The pager, yes, this was in the 1990s when pagers were around. The pager that he carried still worked for over a month after his disappearance, but he never answered any of his pages. He had grown up in Wilmington. He attended Newark High School. He had known people who were involved in substance activity. And prior to his disappearance, Damond himself had been arrested a few times and convicted of offenses including possession, assault, criminal mischief, and weapons violations. His mother, however, said that he had been trying to straighten out his life. He was trying to find a job at the time he went missing. And it is unclear. I can't, good Lord, y'all. Unclear whether these previous offenses or convictions had anything to do with his disappearance. Could be totally unrelated. His case does remain unsolved. So if you have any information, once again, contact Wilmington PD at 302-654-5151. I swear that I know they have multiple lines, but it seems like in every one of these it's a Wilmington PD, but it's a different number. At any rate, let me see if I was able to find anything else. I do have a couple of bookmarks here. I forgot what they were. One of them's Web Sleuth. Websleuth.com is another site I like to use where you can find some bits of info from people familiar with the case. And you do have to be, still take it with a grain of salt, but I know that on Web Sleuth, you do have to be what they call verified. Once again, I don't know what the verification process entails on Web Sleuth, but you have to be verified, what they call verified, to state anything as fact. If you don't have if you're not law enforcement, if you don't have any kind of documentation to back up what you're saying. But anyway, you get the idea. So let me see. I know I bookmarked it for a reason. There may have been a link to an article. Oh yes, I have to blow it up because it's very small. Interview with or article with his mother. Ooh, I hope I'm gonna be able to read this. Bear with me. It's a photocopy clip or whatever, scanned in clip of a newspaper article. Don't know when it's from. I'm gonna assume shortly after, sometime after he went missing. Diana, I think it's Diana. Diana Emery had come to expect to talk to her son Damond practically every day. His mom says usually he would call and say something like, "Mom, what are you do? What are you cooking today?" Or he would ask, "What are you doing?" He was known for staying in touch, a habit he acquired as a child. Damond wore a pager also. He and his mom had a code, which when she entered it, he would call her right away. The code was 911 and her telephone number. Diana entered the code into her son's pager on February 2nd, I think it is. He did not respond. She said, quote, "There's never a time I page him that he doesn't call right away or at least within a half an hour. I knew something was wrong when he did not call back," end quote. She knew something was wrong before her pages went unanswered. The mother of his 4-year-old son had paged him several times that day. So had his girlfriend, who was expecting a baby in September. Both women, unbeknownst to each other, had called his mother out of concern over their unanswered pages. His mother said, quote, "There's never been a gap of time when we did not talk," end quote. So Diana, his mother, reported him missing on March 2nd. He had not been seen or heard from since a friend dropped him off at his 10th Street home near downtown Wilmington around 2 a.m. on February 27th. Sorry, I'm having trouble reading it. At first, it says she cried and she worried. She waited for him to come home. After reporting him missing, she cried and waited for word from the police about efforts to find him. She knows, she knew that he had been arrested at least twice on substance charges. She also knows or knew that he had friends who were involved in illegal substance activity, but that does not minimize or justify his disappearance. Absolutely. We do not judge here. Every missing person deserves to be found. So Damond was her son, and she wants him back. She realized that he might be found deceased. Friends and relatives joined her and Emery's father, Gerald Woods, to hand out 500 flyers with the 22-year-old's picture and description. He was last seen wearing, once again, a gray Nautica sweatsuit, a black leather jacket, and Nike sneakers. They handed out flyers at the intersection of 4th and Walnut Street in front of police headquarters, hoping to convince police to step up their investigation. Another group flooded a radio talk show with calls about the disappearance and the search, and a physical search of wooded areas and waterfronts was planned for May 4th of that year. His mom said, quote, I need to feel that the police are doing something, and I feel nothing is being done," end quote. So police spokeswoman Sergeant Christine Dunning said, Emery is considered missing and there's no evidence of foul play. His name was entered into a national missing persons network almost immediately. She said adults considered missing sometimes turn up a year later, same old song and dance, just like with every missing teenagers are run away. Every missing adult left of their own accord. Sorry, I lost my place. This is really blurry. So Sergeant Dunning said, quote, "We cannot prove anything right now, but we believe somebody out there knows something." end quote. That's why his family put out flyers and planned the search. Diana said there was no evidence in her son's home that he had been there. The clothes that he was last seen in were not there. He had not packed anything or left any other clues that he was leaving. She says, quote, I don't know whether I'm going to see my child again. I want to know one way or another, end quote. So once again, he grew up in Wilmington. He attended Newark High School. He was unemployed at the time of his disappearance. So I don't know if that was the end of the article, but that was the end of the clip. But yeah, I get so, and I know Miss Z, if she's still here, so frustrated too about these. First of all, they're an adult, which is true. Adults can choose to disappear of their own accord and not let anybody know. But Ms. Z says, sometimes even teenagers and adults do leave on their own accord. They do run away, or if they're an adult, they do leave. But then they find themselves in a situation that they can't get out of, that they're really in trouble they can't get out of. So that makes it a whole different, set of circumstances. And, so therefore they do need to be looked for. There needs to be an investigation. There needs to be searches. So it's just very frustrating. Let me see if Charley Project had any other little bits of info. They got some exclusions on some John Does. Let's see. Oh, wow. Hold on. Let me see if the link will come up. If not, I'll just have to read what the. Hold on. Let me read this. So apparently, because the article did come up, somebody posted on Web Sleuths in September 2023 that Damon's son, Damond Z. Emery, who he never met, I don't know if that was the 4-year-old son or the son or the child that was not born yet when he disappeared, because he did have a 4-year-old son when he went missing, and his girlfriend was pregnant. So one of them, I'm not sure which, was shot and killed at just 25 years old in Wilmington in 2021. His offender has not been found. So the article is from Delaware Online from January 2021. It says 24-year-old man killed in Wilmington's East Side Friday night. A 24-year-old man was fatally GSW'd Friday night in Wilmington's East Side section, police said. Police said the shooting happened around 6:45 p.m. in the 900 block of North Spruce Street. The victim, whom police identified as Damond, Damond Emery, so maybe he was Junior, Damond Emery Jr., was taken to the hospital and later passed away. No other information was immediately available. Police are asking anyone with information to contact Detective Mackenzie Curlin at 302-576-3653. Said that Damond Emery was the fourth firearm homicide victim that month in Wilmington. Wow. That is just. So not only do the family have to deal with the father Damond going missing, and then you have the son's life being taken at just 24 years old. Wow. Unreal. Let's see if there's anything else. No, that was it on that. Wow, that's just heartbreaking. Heartbreak upon heartbreak. Okay, so I do have something else bookmarked. Let me see what this is. Oh, it's from Facebook. So this is from a Facebook group, National Missing Persons. Let me see why I bookmarked it. Okay, so it gives just his vitals that we've gone over. It says background. Damond Reginald Emery was born on June 20th, 1973 to Gerald Woods and Diana Emery. Damond attended Newark High School. As young people often do, Damond seemed to associate himself with the wrong crowd. It happens when you grow up in a rough neighborhood like Wilmington. According to reports, Damond was arrested more than a dozen times on charges. Well, we went over that. So whoever posted this says, note, I only bring these past charges up because I believe they are relevant to his disappearance, not to diminish Damond's character or the importance of this case. Absolutely. They go on to say at some point, Damond was involved in some kind of dispute regarding east and west side residents of Wilmington on June 19th, 1993 at around 2:40 a.m. Two gentlemen, I'm not going to give their last names because I don't know what, I mean, I don't want to, Kevin, a man named Kevin, a man named Michael, a man named Shawn, and Damond were shot, as they said, in a parked car on the 1200 block of West 6th Street. Kevin passed away around an hour later at the hospital. The others were treated for their injuries. A 15-year-old was later arrested and convicted of that crime. Apparently, he passed away in 2003. So that was just a little bit of background. But like I said, we never judge here. Like I said, he only brought whoever posted this only brought it up because it could possibly have something to do with Damond's disappearance. It's not to diminish his character or the importance of him being missing. I always want to make that clear. Oh, yeah, I did mention Miss Z. She said here. Yeah, she's still here. Yes, absolutely. Mustang said Trial Junkies United has great lives. Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Ms. Z says, tell them you are right. They need to be investigated. Yeah, it's like you see, I do listen and pay attention. Ms. Z is always saying, sometimes teenagers do run away. Sometimes adults do leave of their own accord. But after that happens, sometimes they find themselves in a situation they can't control where they are in trouble and they can't come home or contact anybody. So that's why it's still important to do the investigations, because you never know what happens. Just because you initially left because you wanted to, that doesn't mean something bad can't happen after you do leave. And, if you don't investigate it, you don't know. Or if, law enforcement or whoever doesn't investigate it, they don't know. So anyway, absolutely true. I agree 100%. So does Mustang. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's see. Oh, that was the last one. Okay, I thought I had another one. Oh, I forgot to dadgummit. Chat amongst yourselves for a second. Let me check on oh, I don't have the bookmarks. I'm trying to remember the names. We did have a couple of missing persons from here in Arkansas that popped up that I got notifications for, but they are bookmarked on my phone. And I'm using my phone StreamYard. I'm doing everything through my phone, so I can't. Oh, and I can't remember what their names are. I did post it. I did do post on. Please check out my community post here on YouTube. And if you're on Facebook, I did also post them on Facebook. There's a teenager that's missing and an adult that's missing. Dadgummit, I wish I had the let me go back. Oh, I am on the right tab. Let's see. Hold on just a second. Hear me tapping on my keyboard here. Oh, come on. Okay, this was 10 hours ago. Maybe this is one of them. Just bear with me for a minute. Okay, so the 17-year-old, good news. There was a 17-year-old that was missing from Sherwood, which is in the Little Rock area, Central Arkansas area. She is updated. She has been located safe. So good news on that one. There was an adult male. Trying to find it. I can't find it. I cannot remember his name. Usually I can keep the names in my head, but I don't know. I've got so many names of missing persons in my head that anyway, like I said, I did share it on a community post and on Facebook. Please check it out. And I will check again because I probably and we'll be, God forbid, we'll be in the middle of Snowmageddon here in Arkansas on Friday night. But I probably am going to be able to do a live stream Friday night. I have so many. We'll go over some missing persons. Some I did get notification of an update about a missing a lady that's been missing since 2017 from here in Arkansas. There was an update on her that came out today. And some other things that I bookmarked in my browser that we can go over. So we'll probably do a True Crime After Dark Friday night. Unless, and I hope this does not happen, that hopefully we'll just get like snow here in Central Arkansas, because if you get the freezing rain, that's when the trees come down, the power lines come down, and we lose power. Hopefully that's not going to happen. So, God willing, and the creek don't rise, or the freezing rain don't fall. We'll do a live stream Friday night. We'll have a Snowmageddon True Crime After Dark live stream. We'll talk about like I said, missing persons updates. It usually devolves into talk of food, movies, music, whatever. So if you're stuck in the house, if you're snowed in, or just want to hang out with us for a little bit on Friday night around 8:30 p.m. Central Time, you are welcome to. Absolutely. Because I know if it's snowing or doing anything, I'm not going out of the house. It'll be me and the fur boys. Will be in the fur babies will be here. So I won't have anything else better to do. Okay, let me get a drink first. Lord, once again I apologize for the sniffles, the nasally, the scratchy voice, but I hope it's just the change in the weather. Once again, like a lot of places, Arkansas weather is schizophrenic. One day it's 70 degrees, and then the next day it's like 30 degrees. So that's never good on the sinuses and everything. But anyway, let's see. Yes, that's who I was talking about. Ms. says, did you see this? According to reports, on October 16, 2017, the family of Kelly Evans was told they found, yes. Actually, I can read that article right now just in case but we'll talk about it again on Friday. Let me bring it up and I'll screen share it. Yes, she went missing in 2017. Hold on, let me take this down for a minute. Let me share my screen. If I can go to the right, what am I doing? Share screen. Oh, I gotta push the share. Maybe that would help. Make sure it pops up. It might take a minute, a second. Okay, there it is. Let me go move that so y'all can see. Yes. So this is regarding Kelly Evans. Remains of Arkansas woman. Get rid of these freaking ads. Kill me. Remains of Arkansas woman missing since 2017, now located after 8-year search. So this was posted, I think, today. Why won't this ad go away? It'd be so much easier to see. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So this is Kelly Evans. So the remains of an Arkansas woman who was reported missing in 2017 have now been found. According to reports, on October 16, 2017, the family of Kelly Evans reported her as missing from her home on White Oak Road in rural Faulkner County, and that's in central Arkansas. It is trying to picture the kind of west of like Little Rock. So an investigation into her disappearance began with multiple search efforts conducted by using cadaver dogs, search parties, drones, ATVs, Arkansas State Police aircraft, and more. For the past 8 years, the case has remained in active investigation. On December 31st of 2025, a hunter who had been tracking game near White Oak Road found what looked to be human remains near a water runoff channel. The sheriff's office and the Faulkner County coroner's office then conducted an extensive search of the area. During the search, so that they located more suspected human remains along with clothes, and other personal items. The remains and items found were then submitted to the Arkansas State Crime Lab for forensic analysis and identification. So now on January 16th of 2026, so just a few days ago, the remains were positively identified as being a 99.98% match to Kelly Evans. So I'm assuming that family, I believe she had a daughter, at least one daughter. I think she had more. I'm assuming family members, probably the daughter, did submit DNA to be tested against this DNA. So it 99.98% match to Kelly. So however, the COD has not been determined as of yet. So we don't know. They don't know if it was, it was an accident, foul play suspected, because she did walk away. I'm trying to make sure I have the right case. Once again, Friday night, we'll go over all the details. When she originally went missing, the details behind that. But I think she had walked away from her home and was just walking down the road and disappeared, if I'm remembering correctly. So I'll research and see if anything else comes out, try to find some more additional information that we'll talk about Friday. But yes, basically positively identified as Kelly. COD has not been determined. So they're still asking anyone who may have information regarding Kelly's disappearance, what could have happened to her, to contact Lieutenant Cook or Investigator Howington at the Faulkner County Sheriff's Office Criminal Investigation Division at 501 450-4917. It says the investigation into the incident remains active and ongoing, and that there will be further updates and information as soon as it becomes available. So once again, let me get her picture there again. There it is. So that is Miss Kelly, Miss Evans. So hopefully soon, sooner than later, hopefully if they can, once again, not to get too graphic, but it's been 8 years. So, it might be a little, why did I close that out? Anyway, I closed it out. Anyway, they're probably going to have some difficulty, I'm assuming, determining what the COD is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, But once again, we'll go into more detail about Kelly's case Friday night. Absolutely. Miss Farr says, please be safe. Absolutely. Everybody be safe in this this weather that's fixing to come upon us, or most of us here in the mid south over to the east and over to the east. Yeah, Mustang says, so sad. I'm glad they found her. Wish she was alive. R.I.P. Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Thank you, Mustang. Always glad to have you here. Thank you to Mustang and everybody who keeps an eye on the chat, keeps things copacetic and friendly, and like we like it around here, and who puts in the links and everything. I can't talk. Good Lord, y'all. Once again, I haven't even taken any medication yet. Thank you to everybody who has wrenches that does everything for me. I appreciate it. Farr says, I will trade you a little 118 degrees Fahrenheit for a bit of cold. About 45 degrees Fahrenheit will do. I probably, I mean, I'm a Southern girl. I would rather be hot than cold. I cannot stand to be cold, especially the older. Well, I don't know. The older I get, I don't like to be hot or cold. I would like to be, happy medium. To me, the perfect weather is, 70 degrees, no humidity, sunshine. To me, if it was that, all year round, I would be a happy camper. But I don't know. The older I get, I don't like the hot or the cold, but I would rather be hot. That's not to say that I like being out, like it down here in Arkansas when it's 100 degrees with 100% humidity. But I don't know. I don't like the cold. To me, the cold and the winter time is just so dreary, and it's usually, well, I don't know. Once again, Arkansas weather is schizophrenic. You never know what kind of winters we're going to have. Sometimes we have snow like we're supposed to get this weekend, in January, and sometimes we're having tornadoes. So anyway, I don't know. I just completely lost the plot with that. But anyway, yeah, I would rather be hot than cold. To me, I don't know. The cold makes my bones hurt more. Once again, the older I get, the worse it gets. But and when I get cold, it is so hard for me to get warm. Whereas if I get hot, it's easier for me to cool down. I don't know if that makes sense. Y'all know what I'm saying. Trying to say. Once again, thank you, Mustang. What? Who is in the bathroom? What? Hold on. Where'd it go? Oh, come on. Oh, there. Oh, Mustang says, at least you're not in the bathroom most of your life. What? Who? I don't even want to know. No, I don't. No. Yeah. I try to, now as soon as I get off the live, I have to go, you know, see a man about a horse. But yeah, I can't think. Maybe one time when we had like a 4 or 5 hour live, I did have to take a potty break. But anyway, I'll have to message you and get the story behind that. Farr says that they have over a week of 111 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow. Oh, thank you, Chris Palmer. See, Miss Z is on it. She says the man missing is Chris Palmer along with his dog. Hold on. Okay. Once again, we'll talk more about this too, but let's see, Chris Palmer. Once again, give me 1 minute. Um, no, that's not the, well, no, this, I didn't know about this one, but no, this is not the one I was talking about, but this is interesting. Arkansas man reported missing after truck left on Outer Banks Beach. I don't think, So Cape Hatteras, that's in what, North Carolina or South Carolina? So I'm going to bookmark this one because I hadn't heard about this one yet. Anyway, thank you for that. I don't think that's the same one though. It could be. I'll have to look at. Oh, let me hold on. I just had a brainstorm. Anyway, okay, let me close this out. Oh, I don't know if I did a post on. Hold on, I'm going to my YouTube channel page on my laptop. 1 second. I don't know if I posted him or not yet. Man, I'm losing my mind. What little I had left. Go to my post. So I had Matthew. Okay, so now, so Matthew Summers is still missing. That's the teenager. He's been missing since November 27th of last year. So we still have him missing. Okay, here it is. Philip Matthew Reed. Hold on. Okay, let me see if it will. Once again, we'll go over this again Friday. 1 second. 1 second. I hope the right thing will come up. Once again, okay. Okay, so the Sherwood Police Department has asked for the public's help in locating a missing man. According to reports, 45-year-old Philip Matthew Reed was last seen on January 18th. While in Sherwood, he is described as 6'1" tall and around 160 pounds. He was last seen wearing a red Razorbacks hoodie and blue jeans. Anyone with information regarding his whereabouts is urged to please contact the Sherwood PD at 501-835-1425. So that is, and that's literally the only picture of him that has been posted so far. Or I haven't checked tonight since I got home from work this afternoon, but so I'll hopefully he'll be found before Friday. But yeah, Ms. Z, thank you for that for Chris Palmer. Either I'd lost my mental sticky note for him, or just hadn't heard about that one yet. But I will definitely go over that Friday too. Yeah, far said with his dog. Yeah. So in Cape Hatteras, I'm not aware of a Cape Hatteras in Arkansas, so I'm assuming it's what, North Carolina, South Carolina. Hey, Miss Barbara. She says, hello, everyone. Sorry I'm late. You're fine, ma'am. You are fine. It's good to see good to see you, Miss Barb, always. Get caught up. Yeah, Far was talking about. Far says that's where I'm at. Too old for both extremes. I know. I don't like the heat. I don't like the cold. I don't like people anymore. Or I say I don't like peopling. I know. I'm getting crabby in my old age. This is true. Ms. Z knows what I'm talking about. She says the facts in winter, you can keep putting on clothes to warm up. You can only take some off in the heat without getting arrested. See, this is true. This is true. Oh, yep. That is true. I mean, like I said, you can take them off, but you may be saying hello to some people in uniforms if you do. Yep, that's what I'm saying. Miss Barb says when I get cold, it makes my bones hurt. I'd rather be hot. Yep, that's where I'm at. Who is the Ted guy? I don't know who the Ted. Mustang said the Ted guy stays in the bathroom. I don't think that Miss Peggy has a channel. Oh, she said, Miss Peggy says no, I've been thinking about starting one, but need a mic. Hey, all you need, if you got some earbuds, I don't know if all earbuds do, but if you have earbuds, it has a built-in microphone, wired earbuds. I don't know about the wireless. That's what I use for my mic, my earbuds. I use the mic on my earbuds. Anyway. Yeah, Miss Peggy or Miss Barbara says some winter makes my bones hurt and dealing with depression. Yeah, it seems like that's what I was saying earlier. Everything in the winter time. I mean, if it's if we're having winter time here in Arkansas, it's just cold, it's cloudy, it's gloomy. I don't want to do anything but lay in bed. I don't want to get up and do anything, get out and do anything. Yeah, it is very, but I understand that's different from, I know what you're saying about depression, but yeah, but there is, what is it called? Seasonal, something disorder, seasonal affective disorder or something that happens during winter time. Oh, what? Did I not see this one either? Ms. Z says Daniel Wanger went missing January 4th, but was found deceased. No, how am I missing all these? Now I'm going to have to look into that one too. Hold on. Daniel Winger. If I can spell right. Oh my goodness. No, I've not heard about the. God, there's just so many. I can't keep up with them. So this, I was not sharing. Oh, I still have the other one up. Franklin County Sheriff's Office has located the body of missing 26-year-old Daniel Winger. He was reported missing in Bay County this past weekend. On Monday, a Franklin County Sheriff's deputy ran the tag on a car at Leonard's Landing, which came back in Winger's name. The car was empty, but gave deputies an idea of Winger's location. Deputies began searching in the heavily wooded area by Tate's Hale State Forest. Okay. They deployed all of their resources, received help from this is from Florida. From the Florida Department of Law. Okay. Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Oh, that's from Florida. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. So I'm confused. Hold on. I'm confused. Franklin County Sheriff's Office, Arkansas man found deceased after days-long search. Oh, so he was found in Florida. Okay, I got you. I'm not confused anymore. Okay, so he was found deceased in Florida, but he was from Arkansas. Okay. All right, once again, I will bookmark that. Okay, I got it now. Sorry, I was confused there for a minute when it said Florida. All right, I've got too many tabs. I've got so many tabs open right now. I don't know what I'm doing. Even worse than usual. Okay, let me stop sharing whatever I'm sharing here. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Goodness gracious. Stop screen. Okay. Okay. Anyway. Thank you, Miss Z. I appreciate that. let's see. And Miss Peggy says, yeah, winter seems to make depression worse. Absolutely. Thank you very much. Mustang has got in Timmy's Legacy. That is Miss Barbara's YouTube channel for her son Timmy D's. Please do check that out. Yes, thank you. Seasonal affective disorder. You need certain lights that help if you're in an area where you get limited sun in the wintertime. Yes. See, I mean, it doesn't matter what time of year. I just do not like gloomy, cloudy days. If it's raining, forget about it. I'm not getting out and doing anything unless it's an emergency. If it's raining, I would much rather have sunshine. You know, like anybody, I'm assuming would like to have, you know, nice weather, nice temperature, sunshine. But yeah, if it's just cloudy, gloomy, rainy, I don't like it. I don't want to do anything. Anyway. Ms. Z said Doc teases her about all her open tabs. I know, I swear, that's why I couldn't find anything a while ago. It just kept doing tab. I was doing all these searches, tab after, and I had like 20 tabs open. That's why I was getting confused. That's what I'm going to blame it on anyway. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Miss Peggy said, my son says he's going to take me for walks every day because I don't get enough exercise. I don't either. And now I may have what? I'm going to mispronounce this. What is that? Neuroscopy? I'm sorry, Miss Peggy. Ooh, that sounds good. Boston says, make a big pot of chili and a big pan of cornbread. We made tortilla soup last night. So we had tortilla soup last night, and we had it again tonight. Oh, I love tortilla soup. It is so good, especially when it's cold outside. Okay, Miss Peggy said, oh, wrong one. It's a nerve thing. Well, thoughts and prayers to you and good vibes to you, Miss Peggy. All right, just totally lost my train of thought then again. All right, so I'm going to quit babbling here and get off here for tonight. But like I said, Friday, you know, God willing, and we have power. Hopefully, you are very welcome, Miss Peggy. Hopefully we'll just get the snow. They said, well, you know, here in Central Arkansas, we may get a mix of sleet and snow as long as it's not freezing rain. Freezing rain is what sticks to the power lines and the trees and causes all the problems and the power outages. Hopefully hopefully nobody gets that. I know people are going to somewhere during this storm, but so like I said, unless something comes up, which I don't, you never know, something could come up, but I don't foresee anything coming up. We'll do a live stream Friday, True Crime After Dark, talk about the usual things and whatever else is on our mind. Same bat time, same bat channel, about 8:30 p.m. Central Time. I'm the same way, Miss Barbara. I'm the same way. Thank you, Miss Farr. Says great live as always. Shared. Sleep well. Stay safe. All absolutely. All right, guys. So y'all have a good rest of your week. I've had videos uploading during the week. I think one uploaded yesterday. Another one should upload. I think I scheduled it to upload Thursday, either Wednesday or Thursday. Friday will, like I said, will most likely be live. So keep your eye out for the pre-recorded videos. Please watch them, like them, share them, do all the things to help bring awareness to whatever case I upload videos on missing persons, unsolved homicides, and unidentified Jane Does, John Does throughout the week. So please check those out. Check out. I try to keep them all organized in playlist. check out the playlist. Just pick a playlist and let it play. Listen to it. That's what I do. I'll just pick a playlist and just let it play while I'm doing whatever I'm doing. It helps get the information out. It helps whatever creator did it to get into the algorithm. So it's good for everybody all the way around. Thank you, Miss Barb. It says everybody stay safe out there and be kind. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Ms. Z. Says later, everyone, love y'all. Oh, yeah. So y'all have, once again, be mindful of the weather. Stay inside, stay warm, stay safe. I love you guys. And let me get I'll leave you once again, as always, with the Hellcats. With Tigger and Little Biscuit. And I will hopefully see you guys, Friday night. Thanks, guys.